Have you ever felt completely confused when your cat suddenly bites you? A lot of people instantly assume it means anger, attitude, or aggression. But in many cases, that bite is not hostility at all. It is communication. It is your cat reacting to something important that most people never learn to recognize. And the problem is, when we misunderstand the reason behind the bite, we often respond in ways that make the behavior worse instead of better. So let's start with one of the most common situations. You are petting your cat. Everything seems calm. They look relaxed. And then out of nowhere, they turn and bite. It feels personal. It feels like they changed their mind in a second. But usually that is not what happened. What happened is that your cat reached their sensory limit before you noticed it. Cats have a threshold for touch. And that threshold can be much lower than people expect. What feels soothing and affectionate to you can slowly become too intense for them. The tricky part is that cats usually give subtle signals first. The tip of the tail starts twitching. The ears shift back slightly. The body firms up under your hand. Their skin may ripple. They are not suddenly attacking. They are asking for the interaction to end. The bite often comes only after those quieter signals were missed. So the better approach is not to wait until the bite happens. Watch the first few minutes closely. If their posture changes even a little, stop petting and let them decide what happens next. Ending the moment early often builds more trust than trying to stretch it longer. Now here is another reason cats bite that surprises a lot of owners. Sometimes your cat is not trying to push you away at all. Sometimes they bite because you accidentally taught them that your hand is part of the game. When cats are young, they learn through repetition. If fingers wiggle, hands dart around, and skin becomes the moving target during play. Your cat starts to treat your hand like prey. That does not mean your cat is mean. It means your cat learned a pattern. And many people strengthen that pattern without realizing it. They pull their hand away quickly, which looks exactly like prey trying to escape. That sudden movement can make the chase even more exciting. The fix is simple, but it only works if you stay consistent. Stop using your hands during play. Use wand toys, feathers, or anything that puts some space between your skin and your cat's instincts. And if your cat grabs for your hand, do not yank it back dramatically. Freeze. A target that stops moving becomes much less interesting. With steady repetition, many cats start to unlearn that habit and redirect their energy toward appropriate toys instead. There is another reason cats bite that many owners never consider until much later. And when they finally realize it. It can be emotional. Sometimes a bite has nothing to do with attitude or play at all. Sometimes your cat is in pain. Cats are incredibly skilled at hiding discomfort because in the wild, showing weakness can make them vulnerable. That instinct still exists today, even in the safest homes. So a cat can continue eating normally, walking normally, and acting mostly like themselves while quietly coping with something that hurts. Then, the moment you touch the wrong spot, the reaction is immediate. The bite is not punishment, it is protection. Conditions like dental infections, arthritis, urinary discomfort, or even a small injury from a misjudged jump can exist without obvious daily symptoms. But when your hand reaches that sensitive area, your cat responds instantly because their body needs the discomfort to stop. This is especially important to notice if your cat has never bitten before and suddenly starts doing it. If the biting only happens when you touch a certain place, or if your cat suddenly pulls away from contact they used to enjoy, do not assume it is personality. It may be the only signal they have to tell you something is wrong. A timely visit to the veterinarian can sometimes catch problems early that would otherwise stay hidden for months. Another situation that leads to sudden biting happens so fast, many people never realize what triggered it. Fear. A scared cat does not stop to evaluate intentions. Their body reacts instantly to create distance from whatever feels unsafe. In that moment, you are not their familiar person. You are simply something too close, too fast, or too unpredictable. This is why bites can happen during attempts to pick them up, move them off furniture, or reach toward them when they are already tense. The warning signs often appear at the same time: flattened ears, a lowered body, widened eyes, a tense tail, or even fur standing slightly on end. These are not signs of a difficult cat. They are signs of a cat trying to protect itself. Changes in the environment can also contribute more than people expect. Loud sounds, unfamiliar visitors, rearranged furniture, or disrupted routines can make a normally confident cat feel uncertain. When their sense of control disappears, biting becomes their fastest way to regain space. Instead of chasing after them or forcing comfort, the most helpful response is simply allowing them an exit. Give them distance. Let them hide if they need to. Once they feel safe again, they almost always return on their own terms. And when they do, the trust between you stays intact, instead of being damaged by misunderstanding. Now, there is one more type of bite that surprises almost everyone when they first learn about it, because it feels completely different from everything we just talked about. Not every bite is a warning. Not every bite means fear. And not every bite means something is wrong. Sometimes a bite is actually your cat's way of showing affection. It sounds strange at first, but behavior specialists often refer to these as love bites. And once you recognize them, they change the way you interpret your cat's behavior entirely. You may have experienced this without realizing what it meant. Your cat is sitting comfortably beside you or resting on your lap. Their body is relaxed. They are purring softly. Then they gently nibble your fingers or hand without tension or urgency. That moment is not random. It is social bonding. When kittens grow up together, they groom each other, using soft nips as part of their connection. It helps reinforce trust and closeness within their group. So when an adult cat does this to you, they are not treating you like an object or reacting defensively. They are treating you like someone they belong with. There are a few simple ways to recognize the difference between a love bite and other types of bites. The pressure is light. Their ears stay relaxed. Their eyes often soften or partially close. Their body remains calm instead of stiff. They are not trying to escape, and they are not trying to warn you. They are settling into the interaction instead of ending it. In many homes, this is one of the clearest signs a cat feels emotionally safe with their person. The biggest mistake people make in that moment is reacting too strongly, pulling your hand away quickly, raising your voice, or scolding them can accidentally interrupt a bonding signal your cat intended as something positive. Instead, staying calm and still helps your cat understand that their message was received. Over time, these quiet interactions become part of how cats maintain connection with the people they trust most. So, the next time your cat bites you, pause before assuming the worst. Look at what happened right before it. Notice their posture, their environment, and the timing of the interaction. A single bite can carry many different meanings depending on the context. And once you start recognizing those differences, something interesting begins to happen. The behavior that once felt confusing starts to feel predictable, and the relationship you share with your cat becomes clearer, calmer, and much more connected than it was before.